The relationship between Anakin Skywalker and Chancellor Palpatine, later Emperor Palpatine, is one of the coolest aspects of Star Wars, of one of Palpatine's intricate plans. The way he was able to manipulate and craft Anakin into Darth Vader, taking full advantage of him, and basically turn Anakin just into whatever he needed. The way he was able to manipulate Anakin for years leading up to even the moment when Palpatine revealed that he was the Sith Lord. Super intricate, super detailed, had to get the exact phrases in, had to really put things into Anakin's mind. And what I want to do today is go through a passage in the book Star Wars, The Labyrinth of Evil. It's book one of the Dark Lord trilogy. We got Labyrinth of Evil, Revenge of the Sith novelization, and then Dark Lord, The Rise of Darth Vader. I've covered a lot of the Revenge of the Sith novel. I've made a few videos on Labyrinth of Evil, and just for future content, I'm going to be covering a lot of Ahsoka stuff coming up. Anyways, back to what today's about. Sorry, I get off track so easily. We're going to be talking about a passage between Palpatine and Anakin, where Anakin has a victory on Cato Nemoidia, and Palpatine calls him to congratulate him, and slowly starts slipping in phrases and things to put doubt in Anakin's mind about this whole war, about the Jedi, about everything going on. And at this point, just for context, Anakin is participating in the Outer Rim sieges, basically for the Clone Wars. This is the waning part of the war. The Republic is trying to push the Separatists completely out of the Outer Rim and finally win this war. But because of this, Anakin has not seen Padme in months. He hasn't seen her in forever. She's all he can think about. She's thinking of him as well, and they just haven't seen each other. Anakin's frustrated, he's getting angry, and he's frustrated at himself for getting angry, and he confides that into Palpatine. So that's what we're going to be going over today. That and more from Palpatine and Anakin, as Palpatine just manipulates him over and over again, while saying he's trying to do what's best for the Republic, what's best for Anakin. So let's get into it, and of course, leave a like, hit subscribe. I'll give you 2 seconds to just hit that like button. It's so easy. Come on, please. Thank you. Anyways, here we go. For context, Anakin just won a battle, and Palpatine is calling him. Palpatine smiled on the hologram and said, "Congratulations, Anakin, on your victory at Cato Nemoidia." And Anakin replied, "Thank you, sir, but I'm sorry to report that Viceroy Gunray escaped, and that fighting continues in the Rock Arch cities." Palpatine's smile faltered. "Yes, I was informed as much." It wasn't the first time Anakin had heard from Palpatine in the field. At Jabim, Palpatine had ordered Anakin to retreat before the planet fell to the Separatists, and one other time he had praised Anakin for having saved the day. Still, the communications were often as awkward as they were flattering. "What's wrong, my boy?" Palpatine asked. "I sense that you're troubled about something. If it involves Gunray, accept my word that he won't be able to hide from us forever. None of them will. Anakin, one day you'll have your chance for complete victory." And Anakin wet his lips. "It's not about Gunray, sir. Just a small incident here that made me angry." "What incident?" Palpatine asked. Anakin was tempted to disclose the details of his and Obi-Wan's discovery, but Yoda had told him to remain silent about the Mechno chair that showed a hologram of Darth Sidious. "Nothing important," he said, "but I always feel guilty when I become angry." Sidious looked at him and said, "That's a mistake," he said gently. "Anger is natural, Anakin. I thought we'd been through all this. Regarding what took place on Tatooine, Obi-Wan doesn't show anger, except, of course, at me. And even then, it's more like aggravation. Anakin, you're a passionate young man. That's what separates you from your Jedi comrades. Unlike Obi-Wan and the others, you weren't raised in the temple, where younglings are taught to conquer their anger by transcending it. You enjoyed a natural childhood. You can dream. You have imagination and vision. You're not some unthinking machine, some heartless piece of technology. Not that I'm suggesting the Jedi are," Palpatine was quick to add, "but for someone like you, any threat to someone or something important to you is likely to evoke an emotional response. It happened with your mother. It will happen again. But you shouldn't fight those responses, Anakin. Learn from them, but don't fight them." Anakin suppressed an impulse to reveal his marriage to Padme as well. "Do you think I'm immune to anger?" Palpatine said in the short silence. "I've never seen you angry," Anakin replied. "Well, perhaps I've grown adept at reserving my anger for private moments, but it grows more difficult to do so in the face of the frustrations I face with the Senate. With the way this war persists, Oh, I know that you and the other Jedi are doing everything you can, but the Jedi Council and I don't always see eye to eye on how this war should be waged. You know my love for the Republic knows no bounds. That's why I'm struggling so hard to keep it from falling to pieces. Anakin forced a decisive breath. The Senate should simply follow your lead. Instead, they block you. They tie your hands. It's as if they envy the power they gave you. Yes, my boy, many do, but many support me as well. More important, we must abide by the rules and regulations of the Council, of the Constitution, or else we are no better than those who stand in the way of freedom. Some individuals should be above the rules, Anakin grumbled. A case can be made for it, Palpatine replied. And indeed, Anakin, you are one of those people. But you must know when to act and when not to. Anakin nodded. I understand. And then he paused before saying, How is Coruscant, sir? I miss it. Coruscant is, as ever, a shining example of what life could be, but I'm far too busy to indulge in its manifold pleasures. Anakin searched for some way to frame the question he needed to ask about Padme. I guess you've been meeting frequently with the Loyalist Committee. As a matter of fact, Palpatine replied, I have. A treasured group of senators who value the high standards of the Republic as much as you, and I. Palpatine smiled. Senator Amidala, for example, so filled with vigor and compassion, the same qualities she brought to her term as Queen on Naboo. She causes a stir wherever she goes, and he looked directly at Anakin now. I'm so glad that you and she have become such dear friends. Anakin swallowed nervously, almost again wanting to reveal it all. Will you tell her hello from me? Of course I will, my boy. An ensuing silence lingered an instant too long. Anakin, I will somehow see to it that you return from the Outer Rim soon. But we cannot rest until those responsible for this war have been held accountable for their crimes and eliminated as a threat to lasting peace. Do you understand? I'll do my part, sir, Anakin replied. Yes, my boy. I know you will. So that's where the conversation ends. And for me, it's kind of a mix of Palpatine almost screwing himself a little bit by saying, like, they have to eliminate anyone that stands in the way of peace, and they've got to do what they can. But by the time Palpatine was able to brainwash Anakin, turn him over to the dark side, Anakin saw Palpatine as a means to peace rather than what he actually is, as someone holding back peace. You could argue the Republic was doomed to fail, but Palpatine did wage war and have war on both sides, controlling the war from both sides. But the way he goes through this, almost lecturing Anakin on why he should not listen to the Jedi about anger and instead embrace his anger, it's really important, and I think leads to Anakin, embracing his anger throughout the Clone Wars, throughout Revenge of the Sith, and becoming Darth Vader. It's interesting, Palpatine just bluntly saying, you need to embrace it, that's how you were raised, you're not like everyone else, you're better, you're different, you just truly are better than them. And Anakin, he doesn't want to give in, he doesn't want to listen, but there's that little bit of him, while he's fully in the light right now, there's that darkness inside that just wants to get out. And then when he turns dark, there's that light inside that's always trying to get back out. Basically, he's just never really full on one side. But yeah, Sidious, or Palpatine, excuse me, totally not the same person, manipulating Anakin happened even far before Revenge of the Sith. So, what'd you think of this video? I love this conversation. I love stuff like this. I love lore. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.